It shows up in 8 out of 10 fights. What is that? The inability for partners to validate each other. And people will tell me all the time, they'll come in and say, they feel what they're saying is irrational. Just because your partner's, what they're saying or their feelings or their beliefs seem irrational to you does not mean they don't need to be validated. In fact, being validated has nothing to do with how you feel about what they feel or what their opinion is or what they're saying. Being validated is being able to simply listen and work to understand where the person is coming from. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to mend. All you have to do on your end is listen and try to understand what they're saying. Now, something that simple causes so many problems in relationships. In fact, it's one of the main communication problems between couples, which is why I'll see it in arguments all the time. Why don't people validate? I mean, if that's the easiest thing to do, why don't couples just automatically validate each other? Well, they get stuck in these three things. Basically, they don't feel as though their partner understands the point they're trying to make, and so they can't validate their partner. Or, secondly, they believe that if their partner says something, that their job is to agree with it. No, validation has nothing to do with agreeing with what your partner says. And lastly, they don't think their partner should feel that way. And so they'll purposely not validate it. Unfortunately, you are not in control of what your partner feels. And you can't somehow make them believe what you want them to believe. Basically, when someone is sharing your life with you and tells you how they feel, it's important that you take the role of understanding and not trying to win or convince them what they're feeling is wrong, but just to validate it. So how can you do that? Because telling them, I understand, or what are some of the other things? I get it, but I hear you, and you always want to add that and or but. I understand what you're saying, so no, that's not validating. Validating is listening. It's listening to understand, putting your phone away and really getting into your partner's head. Where did this come from? What does this mean for you? When you really listen to someone, it takes a lot of attention, takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of time up front. But the solution is so much more peaceful. You get along so much better. Your partner feels heard, and you'll feel heard. You'll feel more connected to them. Empathy goes a long way. Feeling bad for them, realizing you can't fix what they're having struggles with, but that you're there to support them. Saying things like, how can I help? Or, I know that I can't fix this. What can I do to make you feel better today? That's showing empathy. Repeat what they share. Repeat it so that you're sure that you hear it right, and so they can hear it again. So if they say something like, I feel just so inept at taking care of my mother. If they say something like that, you're going to say you're feeling really bad about yourself, like you're not taking good care of your mother. When you're able to feed that back to them, they know you get it, and they automatically feel more in love with you. They let their guard down. They're vulnerable more. And this is what a healthy relationship relies on. Normalize their feelings. Tell them things like, I remember feeling this way before, or, I remember you said you had feelings like this before. The more you can help them put it in a context where they understand they're not going crazy because they feel this, that actually you've had feelings like this, or you remember when they had feelings like this in the past and they were able to get through it, it's going to help them feel better, and you're going to feel more connected to them. See it through their eyes. If your partner was maybe grew up in a home that was abusive or chaotic, or maybe they were, harassed or sexually assaulted at one time, they're going to see things differently than you do. And when you allow yourself to grow by trying to see it through their eyes, from what they experienced in their past, they're going to feel like you really love them. That's going the extra mile. That's supporting them and validating them. And healthy relationships need that so badly. When couples don't see eye to eye, when there's conflict, the number one way you can calm it down is to try to listen and validate. The more you try to convert them or convince them or pull them into your world, into seeing the world how you see it, the more likely the conflict is going to increase. You're going to pull further apart, and you're both going to withdraw in your own corner. And this slowly starts the cycle of deteriorating the communication in a relationship. You want to enhance it. I want to thank all my subscribers, and I want to ask you please to stop and think, do conversations like this, discussions, help you add value to your life? If they do, please subscribe and leave comments below so I know what you need more of to help you co-create a healthy relationship, and one that is enjoyable and you love being part of.